We expect some breakdown of tire punctures, and you name them, and this is happening.
The extension of its partnership with the Namibian Rugby Union NRU with a 500,000 Namibian dollar valued sponsorship towards referees. Jason Zolk, flanked by William Steenkamp, NRU Operations Manager, and CEO John Haynes, made the announcement moments ago. This video is courtesy of Otis Daniels.
Today, we as JSP Betting are extremely excited to announce our further extension with NRU for the 2024/2025 season. In particular, we have aligned ourselves with NRU's long-term vision of growing the game and being inclusive for all. A major part of sport requires individuals that do not necessarily partake in sport, however have the responsibility of administrating the rules and laws of the game. Without these individuals, our beloved rugby game ceases to operate. These brave and committed individuals are never on the winning or the losing side, but they are the ones that week in and week out put in hard work that often goes very unrecognised and are not nearly enough celebrated or appreciated for the dedication to the sport. Today marks a huge day for both Namibia Rugby and the Namibia referees. We at JSP Betting are thrilled and energetic about the future of NRU plans. We are excited about further growing the game and providing possible new opportunities for Namibians. The plan to remunerate referees is one of the first steps to the right path of growing the game. By providing the opportunity for both new and old referees to learn, attend courses, and most importantly, get remunerated, we believe Just Baby can inspire new people to take up the whistle. This is what excites us at JSP Betting. The fact that we just don't know if the next Nigel Owens or Jacob Paper is walking around the streets of Namibia.
After the break, the Namibian Sun leads us into our newspaper review segment. Stay tuned.
Hi Sonia.
Hi Tufeni. What are you reading?
I'm reading about the Child Care and Protection Act. In this pamphlet I got from school.
What's that?
It is Namibia's main law for the children and the issues affecting them. The Act classifies here that a child is anyone under the age of 18 years. Check out some of the rights meant to protect you. For more information, contact the Children's Advocate.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
Thank you for staying with NMH at 1. We now take a look at what the lead stories are in Namibia's daily newspapers. Starting us off on the Namibian Sun front page, the advice offered by Walvis Bay municipality executives to politicians serving on the municipal council not to terminate the municipality's debt collection contract with Red Force Debt Management fell on deaf ears after the latter bowed to pressure from residents. Spurred on by disgruntled residents who felt they were being suffocated by Red Force's strict tactics, councillors unanimously supported the move to axe the debt collection agency during Tuesday night's meeting. On page 3, a total of 4,930 claims were processed between October 2023 and 15 March to support livestock farmers who have been affected by the drought. This according to the Crop Prospects, Food Security and Drought Situation Report issued by the Agriculture Ministry. The government introduced drought relief measures through the Livestock Support Program to assist farmers in all 14 regions. It targeted both commercial and communal farmers. Farmers' requests included 3,249 claims for livestock marketing incentives, 25 claims for lease of grazing, 16 claims for transport to and from better grazing areas, and 1,640 claims for lick supplements and fodder subsidy, the report read. Now moving over to the front page of the Republic Cane, it zooms in on the Namibia International Energy Summit, which concluded yesterday with about 800 delegates from around the world in attendance, including top leadership from major international oil companies, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPUL, the African Chamber of Energy, and the Ministry of Mines and Energy. During his speech at the official opening, Energy Minister Tom Awendo encouraged the industry to promote local content and participation despite the national policy for local content not yet being enforced. For those who make commercial discoveries, we want the development of those discoveries to be expedited, he stated. On page 3, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism is taking the necessary steps to save manatees in the Zambezi River, where water systems are failing due to the ongoing drought, making the river too dry. However, the ministry spokesperson Romeo Muyunda has assured the public that there is no cause for concern. According to him, the ministry drilled a borehole in 2019 and purchased a generator to pump water into the pool. Since then, the pump and generator have been used every time there's a demand for water to rescue the hippos. Now, according to the paper's page 3, there are 12 white rhinos of South African origin per year exported to America via Namibia, as per the trade database of the Convention on International Trade with Endangered Species of Wild Animals and Plants. In fact, South African white rhinos were also transported to America via Namibia last year, but the number is unknown as the site's trade database statistics from 2023 have not yet been uploaded to their website. Apparently, there have already been several applications for the export of white rhinos to the USA and other countries overseas from Namibia this year. According to SICE, Namibia is the only country in Africa that exports white rhinos for breeding purposes, amid concerns that the country serves as a transit route to overseas countries outside their natural habitat. On page 3, the paper focuses on Namibia Media Holdings Network name change rather to Network Media Hub. This announcement was made by NMH's Managing Director Albie Botha during the opening of the 25th Tourism Expo on Wednesday. The Tourism Expo, organized by NMH, operates under the motto Beyond Borders. Botha stated that in tourism there are no boundaries, and therefore the Tourism Expo is expanding its reach beyond Namibia's borders into neighboring countries. This expansion aims to ensure that the message of tourism as economic sector is understood without limitations. That brings us to the end of the first half of our newspaper review segment. We continue with the second half after the break.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Continuing with our newspaper review segment, on the Namibian newspaper's front page, Mines and Energy Minister Tom Awendo has told local entrepreneurs nobody owes them anything and they should guard against a sense of entitlement in terms of the country's natural resources. He was speaking during the Namibia International Energy Conference in Windhoek yesterday, where he also said Namibia will use countries that have been successful in the oil and gas industry as benchmarks. He asserted that Namibians should accept personal responsibility for their successes or failures. On page 3, the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has urged the public to report acts of public indecency within national parks, saying they are looking into possibly blacklisting those found in contravention. This comes after a picture of naked tourists taking photos at the crest of the Big Daddy Dune at Sossusvlei in the Namib-Naukluft National Park were widely shared on social media earlier this week. Ministry spokesperson Romeo Muyunda says the ministry is extremely shocked about the incident, labeling it as public indecency and in violation of park rules and regulations. The New Era's lead story reports that Namibia's strategic food reserves across the country are running dry at an alarming pace and on the verge of putting the country in an acute food shortage crisis at household and industrial levels. In the latest food security and drought situation report issued this week, the Ministry of Agriculture painted a gloomy picture of the country's dwindling strategic food reserves and sufficiency at the household level countrywide. As things stand, the country's strategic food reserve stocks are sitting at a worrying 16% of the total holding capacity of 22,900 metric tons of all national reserves. On page 3, the Commerce region in China's Jiangsu province on Monday signed an agreement to deepen developmental cooperation highlighted in the agreement. This new chapter follows the signing of the deal on 19 June 2015, as well as another one between the Commerce Regional Council and the Standing Committee of Jiangsu Provincial People's Congress on 20 October 2023. Officiating at the event, Commerce Governor Laura McLeod Kashirua said the work plan will focus on 6 priority areas for the next 3 years. The Market Watch reports that the recent oil discoveries in the Orange Basin by oil majors Shell, Total Energies and Galp Energia has breathed new life into the Kudu gas project, which has failed to take off since the discovery in 1974 by Chevron. Speaking at the Namibia International Energy Conference, which is currently underway, Petroleum Commissioner Magishino said the viability of the project was being supported by the possibility of oil production. Gas from the Kudu gas project is envisaged to be developed onshore in either Lüderitz or Elizabeth Bay, with a floating and production storage and offloading unit (FPS) being considered. Stick around for our economic news coming up after the break.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
In today's economic news, the Langer Heinrich mine is now preparing for production ramp up following its restart after the mine had been on care and maintenance for nearly 6 years, its CEO Ian Purdy said. Purdy noted the restart as a highlight and acknowledged the government's role in lending a supporting hand to Palandin, the owners of the mine, for the achievement. According to him, the mine returned to commercial uranium production on the 30th of March on schedule and within the capital cost estimate of $125 million. Following the commencement of commercial production at the mine, operational focus has now shifted to production ramp-up and building a finished product inventory ahead of shipments to customers, Purdy said in a quarterly bulletin. Among the earmarked deliverables was debottling upgrades, an increase throughout capacity and operational availability of the plant, while also improving environmental and sustainability aspects of the plant in operations include the following work streams, he noted. That brings us to the end of our economic news. We'll now take a look at the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 23.69 to the British pound, 20.33 against the euro, 18.97 against the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 62 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. Letego Holdings stocks took an upturn of 2.50%, while Namibia Breweries Limited stocks took an upturn of 0.03%. First Rand Namibia Limited stocks dipped at 0.50%, while the rest maintained. All commodities are up save for Brent crude oil, which took a dip of 0.06%, now trading at $87.94 per barrel. Local index closed on an upturn of 0.12%, while overall index closed on a dip of 0.05%. Stay with us. Right after this, we bring you African news.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
In news from Africa this afternoon, military forces in Burkina Faso stand accused of massacring 223 civilians, including infants, in attacks on 2 villages. According to Human Rights Watch HRW, these mass killings occurred on the 25th of February in the conflict-ridden north of the West African nation. HRW's report, which compiled witness testimony and verified videos and photographs of the attacks, reveals that 56 children were among the victims. Witnesses and survivors informed HRW that they believe the killings were carried out in retaliation for an attack by Islamist fighters on a military camp near Wahiguya, located approximately 15 miles away. Despite repeated requests for comment by the Associated Press, a spokesperson for the country's military junta, which has been grappling with growing jihadi insurgency, did not respond regarding the attack. While officials have previously denied targeting civilians and have stated that jihadi fighters often disguise themselves as soldiers, Burkina Faso, once peaceful, has in recent years been embroiled in conflict. This conflict has seen jihadis affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group engaging in clashes with state-backed forces. Both sides have faced accusations of targeting civilians, resulting in the displacement of more than 2 million people, with over half being children. We'll now take a quick ad break and bring you international news from the rest of the globe thereafter.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
And now for your international news. China is providing Moorage for a US-sanctioned Russian cargo ship implicated in North Korean arms transfers to Russia, as revealed by satellite images obtained by Reuters. This development comes as US concerns escalate over Beijing's support for Moscow's war in Ukraine. The Royal United Services Institute RUSI think tank has noted that the Russian vessel Angara, which has transported thousands of containers believed to contain North Korean munitions to Russian ports since August 2023, has been anchored at a Chinese shipyard in eastern Zhejiang province since February. The presence of the ship at the Chinese port highlights the challenges faced by the United States and its allies in their efforts to disrupt military and economic support for Russia. As Ukraine faces renewed Russian aggression and a shortage of ammunition, US officials have issued increasingly dire warnings about China's assistance in rebuilding Russia's military following its initial setbacks in the Ukraine war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is expected to address this support during his upcoming visit to Beijing. Kurt Campbell, the State Department's second-ranked diplomat, stated this month that Washington would not sit by if Beijing intensified its support to Moscow. The U.S. State Department has acknowledged credible open-source reports regarding the Angara's mooring in a Chinese port and has raised the issue with Chinese authorities. In our next story, shares in U.S. tech giants Meta have declined in the U.S. after hours trading, despite the company reporting better than expected earnings. Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, disclosed that expenses would be higher this year due to substantial investment in artificial intelligence. The stock fell more than 15% after Meta announced its projection to spend billions of dollars more than previously anticipated in 2024. Meta has been enhancing its ad buying products with AI tools to drive earnings growth. Additionally, it has been integrating more AI features into its social media platforms, such as chat assistants. The company now anticipates spending between $35 and $40 billion in 2024, up from its earlier forecast of $30 billion to $37 billion. Despite surpassing expectations in earnings, Meta's shares experienced a decline. First quarter revenue climbed by 27% to $36.46 billion, exceeding analysts' expectations of $36.16 billion. Stay with us. Right after this, we bring you local sports news. Now this weekend you can expect a proper showdown as Trusker United and FNB Wanderers meet in their annual derby at the United Field this Saturday. The two clubs will compete in various mutual sporting events, namely rugby, cricket T20, netball and no-ball. The senior netball game and NRU Premier League rugby game will be broadcast live on network television on DSTV channel 285, GoTV channel 25, as well as on our web-based TV channel 102.com. In our next story, the MTC Nesta Sunshine Boxing and Fitness Academy held its open media workout yesterday as the boxers prepare for this weekend's big bouts. The biggest stars of Namibian boxing will be in action on Saturday night at the Ramatex Hall in Windhoek. Philippus Energy Ntumbwa squares off against China's Dekang Wang for the WBO International Super Bantamweight title, while renowned boxers such as Jeremiah Nakatila, John Julanimas, and Matthias Hayter will all be in action on the night. Now, even every rugby fan and opponent knows that no one travels to Grootfontein and expects to simply return home with the winning point. The strength of FNB Grootfontein is their heavy pack of forwards who lay the foundation for many of their victories. On Saturday, they host FNB Kudus, who also boasts a solid pack able to stand their ground against any team. Although the Walvis Bay team will be traveling without some key forwards, fans will want anyone representing the jersey to give a thorough account of themselves. A win for either team will be of value to consolidate a top 4 position. Stay with us. International sports news coming up right after this. Starting off our international sports news, Everton's Gerard Brandtwaite and Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored in a pulsating 2-0 home victory over Liverpool in the Merseyside derby on Wednesday that could prove to be the death of the visitors' withering Premier League title hopes. Everton's first derby victory at Goodison Park in more than 13 years prevented Liverpool from climbing level with Arsenal at the top of the league table. In some tennis news, Naomi Osaka says she is embracing the clay a lot more now, as she captured her first victory on the surface since 2022 in the Madrid Open first round on Wednesday. The Japanese former world number 1 grew up playing on hard courts in the United States and has mostly struggled on the red dirt over the years. But back at the Kajimajika for the first time in 2 years, Osaka looked comfortable during her 6-4, 6-1 win over Belgian lucky loser Grietmanen to book a second round meeting with 15th seed Ludmila Samsonova. And closing off our international sports news, players must accept criticism as readily as praise at Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes said after the Portuguese midfielder rescued his side with 2 goals in a 4-2 home Premier League victory over Sheffield United. That brings us to the end of our international sports news. Stick around. Right after this break, we bring you news highlights. No, it's fine. Let's go to highlights, okay? You're watching NMH at 1. If you're just joining us, here are the news highlights. In African news, military forces in Burkina Faso stand accused of massacring 223 civilians, including infants, in attacks on 2 villages. In international news, China is providing Moorage for a US-sanctioned Russian cargo ship implicated in North Korean arms transfers to Russia, as revealed by satellite images obtained by Reuters. And in local sports news, we can expect a proper showdown this weekend as Trosco United and FNB Wanderers meet in their annual derby at the United Field this Saturday. The 2 clubs will compete in various mutual sporting events, namely rugby, cricket, T20, netball, and Nobel. And those have been your highlights. Thank you very much for spending your lunch